Peter Esele joins us now. He's the president of Trade Union Congress, and thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning.
Well, speaking of which, the governor of Rivers State just now says, well, this autonomy for local governments, he doesn't buy into it. And you ask yourself, he says 2 federating units, the local government shouldn't be a 3rd one, and that's the way we should go. What do you think?
Well, if he's saying that he's talking about 2 federating units, okay. But where I have issues with the Governors Forum when they talk about it is that they want as much power from the center. And I'm also saying that, why don't you also make laws in your state that makes it easier for the local government to access their funds without having recourse to going to bow before the governor, or the governor having rights to now decide who gets what. Because you just heard the governor talk about local government collecting 2 billion naira from him on a monthly basis. That's from the state government. Why don't you free up the funds so that local government on their own can also access those funds? Because what as further as it is, that's federal government from development, as the state government or the Governors Forum are saying, so also it is for the state government from the local government. Because if you put, let's take for example, a city like Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt is a metropolitan city with a lot of private sector investment, oil and gas, which is the life wire, and then situate Port Harcourt and New York. Yeah, and situate Port Harcourt and New York. And you know how powerful the mayor of New York is. And then you now compare the mayor of Port Harcourt and put them side by side. I'm not talking about the revenue that goes to New York City, but I'm talking about the ability, the functionality of the office of the local government chairman, or the functionality of the local government. And you find out that they are miles apart. So for me, what we've always been talking about is, if you say you want just 2 federating units, fine. But I'm not supporting the idea of saying the money comes straight from the federal government and it goes to the state, to the local government. That is what the governors are against. But then the governors must also ensure that there's a law in place to ensure that the local government chairman does not have to do everything at the whims and caprices of the governor.
How can that work?
That is where the independence come in. And if you take, for example, we've also, I think the TUC issued a statement, the need for even state assemblies to be free. You notice in the National Assembly, there's the air of freedom between the senators and the House of Rep is higher than it is now than the first 4 years of the civilian dispensation. So why don't we have that too? I was shocked in the last constitutional review when state houses of assembly in some of the states said no, they don't want autonomy.
Yeah.
But again, now they are all coming out now to say yes, they want it. Because they said if you want to hit at a man, close his pocket. So if the funds are not there for them to operate, then they can't function. So there must be a law to make the local government, to strengthen the local government, and make them also be independent. There's a difference between being autonomous and being independent.
Because they've got to key into the programs of the states. Because after all, they all need to develop the states together.
Yes, but you must know a local government chairman has an agenda. He campaigned that this is what he wants to achieve.
Should it be completely different in terms of...
There may be a symbiotic relationship, but the local government chairman must say, I heard you talk about the markets. That's not the responsibility of the state government. It's the responsibility of the local government. When I was growing up in Benin City, we have what we call Trunk A, Trunk B, Trunk C roads. The Trunk A is the federal road. The Trunk B is the state government roads. The Trunk C is the local government roads. So the local government chairman will identify the Trunk C roads and the areas and what he has to do. But he can only deliver on that if he's allowed to function.
Is it just about these laws or about the political parties as well? Because they are the ones who present these candidates. Because it's one thing for you to make the law, because at the federal, the states, even at the local level, they all play politics. No state governor, no president wants an assembly that will be completely different or completely, perhaps acting as an impediment, quote unquote.
Yeah, but the bottom line again, it tells you the depth or the content of the character of those leading us. Because a society can run smoother and better when there is freedom. When everybody is allowed to think. You see, just look at we admire Europe, we admire America, we admire everywhere. But you find out that they are so independent of themselves because that's the only way society can flow. And the greatest leader is not the leader that is in charge of everything. It's the leader that allows everything to function independent of himself. And that is why those societies are where they are today.
Some will argue that, well, it has even made it easier for you when we talk about agitation, knowing full well that for some time since the states have been taking charge of holding that fund or disbursing the funds to the local government, we haven't heard teachers go on strike, especially primary school teachers, because most of the state governors have been paying the bills of the teachers.
Yes, but again, you ask yourself, is that the right way to go? If they are not paying this teacher's salary, why are they not paying? That now tells you corruption. It's like telling me now, okay, because the road, on Aba Road, because Aba Road, there's traffic now, and what you now decide is, okay, since there's traffic on Aba Road, so let us just stop people from going through Aba Road. Why don't we find out why is there traffic in Aba Road? And then we now go ahead to mitigate the reason why that traffic is there. So if they are not paying salaries, let us find out who is not paying salary. Why are they not paying salary? Where is the money going to? And then whoever is behind it, then appropriate sanction is meted. The local government chairman is arrested, prosecuted, and he goes and he pays the price for it. You see, one of the biggest problems we have in our country is that we run our country on ad hoc basis. Oh, this thing is not working, so we take it, we throw it away. Oh, this one is not working, we take it, we throw it away. You can't build a society like that. We need to ask ourselves, this is not working, so what do we need to do to make it work? How do we enhance it? How do we make it more efficient? And who are those that are responsible for not making these things work? And then you get, those are the people you deal with. Because the country cannot lean on individuals. Yes, the governor just left this seat now. The governor is doing well. Yes, Port Harcourt is looking better than it was before he came in. But what we must ask ourselves now is it about Amechi or the institution? Amechi is an individual. His tenure, the highest he will be here is 8 years. After Amechi, what now happens to all these schools? What now happens to all this wonderful infrastructure that Amechi has put in place? That is where institution is key. An individual can take you to a level, but it is the institution that takes you to your destination. And that is why everywhere in the world, where things run smoothly, where people put on their thinking hat, they always drive towards institutions.
Speaking about institutions and getting things to work, identifying what is working, what is not, so as to move us forward. This subsidy reinvestment and empowerment program, recently your committee, which you're a member of, was before the National Assembly Committee, and they didn't find some things funny. But let's take a look at this report, and we'll return after that.
This is the first time the chairman of the Subsidy Reinvestment and Empowerment Program is appearing before the Joint Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream.
If I may just summarize the report that I've just given you.
So it was not a surprise that committee members were itching to learn firsthand from the chairman how exactly the program has benefited Nigerians. The chairman was willing to give them the details.
That budget shows that we were to allocate funds to social safety net programs, construction of roads in the Niger Delta and other parts of the country.
President Goodluck Jonathan established the Sure P in January this year after subsidy from fuel was partially removed, and lawmakers insisted that the program is duplicating the efforts of existing agencies.
My belief, sincerely speaking, is that they should be used for projects that Nigerians have been yearning for, which government could not immediately provide for, rather than take the same money back to existing projects.
Why should the Ministry of Works award East-West Road based on its own design, going through all the process of the ministry, tenders board and everything, only for another body now to go around and make payment?
Still not convinced by the explanations of the chairman, lawmakers and the chairman continued to go back and forth.
We have made as sure as we can that there are no duplications either of contracts or even of payments. And I think, sorry, I don't think you understand the document. The problem will come from you. You see, part of Senaco or Notoja Road, that does not stop the ministry from going back to duplicate paper to say we paid Senaco or whatever, and that money can disappear.
In another budget defense session, officials of the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, were on a hot seat, attempting to defend their 2.192 trillion naira budget proposal for 2013 before the Senate Committee on Petroleum Upstream.
This is a budget presentation. We tried to summarize it. I wanted to go through so that at least all is done.
What we are reading here is more technical, and I don't want to pretend that I don't understand any of these things you're reading.
It is gradually becoming a trend whenever agencies in the petroleum sector come to defend their budget. They are not always on the same page with the committees which oversight them. Hopefully, when the Minister of Petroleum appears before the committee on Thursday this week, this issue will be sorted out.